doing, everybody? It's me, Trader Max, and we're here on the Shogun Gun Show here on June 24, 2025, and we're almost toward the end of June, and I am very excited because the holidays are coming, of course, with July 4th, but we are also today joined by our friend, and I guess you could say advisor, I don't know, Jay from Tired Dads. How you doing today, Jay?
I'm good.
What are your what do you think your role? What should I call you? A supreme advisor?
There's
no need for a role.
Yeah, I don't think there is. Yeah, that works.
Jay. That sounds good.
Fine. All these.
Now you've been with Tired Dads for some time. What else do you do, Jay, besides Tired Dads right at the moment? I'm throwing you on the spot here because you're it. It's me and you today. Mr. Quinton's not here today. He's out gallivanting around. We were supposed to have Ghost today, but he had some stuff come up. So it's you and I, buddy.
Yeah. Well, what do? Just sounds. Oh, yeah. I try to build.
You're a builder.
As many authentic relationships in this space. Mm-hmm. With people that share the same values. So actually have a proper community that is doing something in the space majorly for others. Unlike majority of the people in the space who just are here to take as much as they can.
I see that happening a lot. That you try to make connections, and I say it's beyond the notification on X is about how far the relationship lasts. You know, you guys it takes longer to build the graphic on a collab than it does for the collab to usually stay in a great percentage of them. I find that's to be true. You know, but you're right. Real authentic relationship is something that is a bit of a misnomer now. You don't really see it a lot, you know, where you can have real conversation and not be judged by what the conversation pertains to. Nope. Okay. There is a lot going on in our. That's okay. I know you got a lot of things going on, and Mr. Quinton and I are working on our banter as well, back and forth. So lots of stuff happening today. I'm going to jump straight into the state of Shogun here this morning. These shows we're starting to get back. If you're watching this now and you're watching over on Tired Dads or over on Jay's sites or Jay's system over there at Tired Dads as well, welcome. Make sure that you go off into the chat, say hi, you know, give us your feedback, tell us how everything's going in your world today. The state of Solana has been very crazy. The state of crypto has been off the chain the last couple of weeks, as we know, and we're going to kind of dive right into a few of those things right about now. All right, so we're here. First off, I'm going to run through this really quickly, only because it's not the basic topic. Since we have Jay today, and Jay usually has a show going on over on X. Do you have a time period that you have your shows on?
They're not being regularly run at this moment.
Okay. But you have like a sort of an open format and a conversation that usually happens. Do you usually set a topic when you do so, or you just come in and just say, talk whatever you want to talk about?
Well, I ask for someone else's opinion on what the topic should be. Mm-hmm. And if they don't have, then I try to have a conversation about the topics or the questions that I have in my mind. Mm-hmm. Then we go from there.
Absolutely.
There is a direction that feels comfortable and natural for the conversation.
There is it's tough though. I mean, because usually I'm trying to put this up here right now, a little banner. Mr. Quinton usually has these up and ready, but I am falling behind on this side of it. There we go. The state of Shogun. Um, I think for me, is the longevity of a concept. Like how long does a concept last as you're building stuff out conceptually? Everybody can come with ideas, right? Like you can have somebody who just sits down and goes, idea after idea. But then to try to build it, create an MVP, minimal viable product, get somebody who's going to build it to a certain level that it's secure, and then get it released and get it tested. And like most people don't realize that it's very difficult to build things now in the industries, but it's easy to conceptualize, and now it's easier to build, especially when it comes to like AI interjection and content deliveries and things like that. I think the state of crypto is in a new place, but it's also when it becomes easier to build and easier to throw out stuff, more horseshit happens to rear its ugly head. So I guess what I'm trying to say, Jay, is the industry right now, do you find it easier or harder to build in this industry now with all the new tools and stuff that's out there?
It depends on what you're trying to build, I suppose.
Yeah, from even like the ease of use of building websites to building AI automations and content delivery systems, and you kind of see it now. People with the website systems that were out with like Wix and even the stuff that we have over at Shogun WebForge. It takes. I think it's coming around full circle in a way that we're starting to see people have more creative control over the stuff that they build. And then with AI interjection happening, people are starting to see the difference between like making AI agents and all that. Are you finding that to be true in your world as well? Because you talk to a lot of people. Where do you see the world of people who are building more technical things? Do you see their experience more or less?
That's a tough one.
Sorry, I've thrown you when you volunteered to be here today. I kind of threw you under the bus here. I do apologize, but
it's okay. Can you repeat the question in a shorter?
Sure.
Way?
How do you see the market right now with builders? You see them more advanced or less advanced because the systems are easier?
Well, it's a lot more advanced, but I don't think that it should be built that way necessarily to what people are trying to achieve, or at least what they tell that they're trying to achieve in crypto, which is they talk a lot about community. And for building that community, you shouldn't need those tools. It should be about the community, not about what the tools provide for the community.
Right. And how do you do that? How do you create a good community with communication tools or not communication tools? Or you just think like what, Telegram and a few community centers that we just pile them all into and say converse?
Well, no need to converse to anything. I don't think. I think just having a place where people actually are, because they want to be in contact and connected with the people that share the same values in life, rather than just for the thing for the community nowadays seems to be built is for the money.
So do you feel like even in like entire dads, you have a pretty big community there? And how is things been going there for you guys lately?
It's very silent.
Quiet. Yeah, I've seen that as well. I think what happens is when the conversation gets a little bit if things happen to the chart, or if things happen in the industry of building utility, once things start to go quiet, I think that's the attention span taken away. People come back every once in a while, they pump back in. I just had somebody in my room today go, hey, what's been going on in the last 3 months? They've been gone the whole time for 3 months, and things happen quickly in crypto in 3 minutes, let alone 3 months, I think. So I find that creating tools that talk about and keep the conversation going are the ones that I'm starting to really see that have the most power. All right. So I think right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down through the state of Shogun with Jay and just kind of show what's been going on in our world. As everybody knows, we've been firing off a lot of time into our NFT marketplace called Shogun Fusion, and we've been building upon that network. And let me tell you, it's not as easy. There's a lot of companies out there that have, and this is why I was trying to spur the conversation earlier with the technology that's out there being very advanced to make very simplistic formats, MVPs as they're called. But in order to see to the future, you have to sort of build things a little bit more advanced behind the scenes. So that way you don't got to keep rebuilding the same thing over and over again. When we built the Shogun Fusion system, we wanted to have all these great modules on board, but I wanted to start it off with just having a minting system and a marketplace. And we did. We fired it off and we got that part on. Let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to share my screen from this point right here. And you can kind of see Shogun Fusion right here. I'm going to try to pull in. Other way. There we go. Okay. So you can cut. Oops, that was way too much. There, that's better. So in this, you can come in, you can house your marketplace with your NFTs. Sorry, I'm glitching all over the place right now because I'm streaming at the same time. So we do apologize, but the network here is a cool little system that you can kind of create your own NFT. You can create your own collection. You can set your own your royalty amount that you want to have, and wherever it is sold from at that point, you'll constantly get money back for that process as well. We're very excited about what's to come with this because the next module, because the first module is just the minting and the marketplace. It's the first two modules that we have there. We're now getting up our KYC, and it's really a really simplistic KYC to know your customer. So we know that, somebody's just not coming on and putting porn or doing anything really crazy, but they're really here to make a difference in the world of NFTs. The approved creators will get a link and they'll come in, they'll be able to create as many of the collections as they want. We have a few approved creators already. We have No Hat, we have Ghost from over at Just a Lotto. We have a few people that are in there, Crypto Wolf, that'll be into that process. So we're very excited about what's coming. And of course, anything coming from Tired Dads, of course, will be approved in there as a creative, as creators in the network. This has been in a state of bug chasing right now, making sure that we're golden. We were just about to release, but we noticed that, and this is one of my statements here, with the team that we have, we built this module out so it would be ready for use within the public. And of course, we noticed very quickly that if we added on our Shogun Fusion on top of it, it was going to cause a huge error in the system. So we had to remake the model base in this, which we did. So that's been very exciting for us and building out this world. Plus, we built that system too to have an auction that it's on board, which we really are excited about because you can set the timing down in this. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Come in. Let me go into this one. There we go. And we can list for sale. And in doing that, we can create a fixed price or sell at your highest bid. And you can set the price real low. You can set the price at anything you want. You can put, you could put 5 SOL in if you want to at that point. And then the high, it would bid. But at this point, this would be considered your minimal bid. You then can choose to have it for an hour. You can have it for 1 day, 3 days, so on in that solution. So this is there's not too many places that do this part of it that gives you amount of time sort of create like a a little bit of ADHD, if you will, like, oh, I got to hurry up and go over there and get that. And then the highest bidder wins the process. If it's fixed price, it's done there. But if it's you can set it as an auction. So every new bid comes in as a higher and higher price, has to be at least 10% more than the previous one, or I think it's like 0.02% on the one. So it does. Thank you very much, Crypto Mean. I appreciate that very much. So yes, it does look amazing. There are so many great things that are happening there with it. And this too is also, if this is an NFT that you've created or one that you have, we have this now that our marketplace will take over of, and it will go to you. Like I got this one from No Hat from Beagle King. He gave me 10 of them for free a long time ago, and I've had them the whole time. And I sold one to myself, which he then I set the price and he ended up getting 10% because he set the margin in here for 10%. And he got a little kick for royalty for it, which is pretty cool. I don't even think he knows that it's happened, but it's been pretty wild. So even if you're selling somebody else's or selling the ones that you bought from somebody else, they will still get a royalty if they set a royalty in the meta of that process. So very cool there. We also, when dealing with just the lotto, they're coming in with their beautiful lotto ballers that are going to be on the site for Solana. So we're very excited about that because there's utility there that's happening. And of course, there's so many other people waiting for this. And I do apologize that, yes, it does take time. I think developers that try to rush and push too much without some testing is destined to fail at that point. And we've had plenty of failures, but we're working with our successes now. What do you, Jay, what do you think about NFTs? Are you a fan of them or just unsure of them?
I'm not really that familiar with NFTs.
Mm-hmm. You know, I first heard last year, I heard of NFTs. I mean, I've heard of them before that when they first started to come out by Gary Vaynerchuk and a few others that were really promoting them. Do you own any yourself, or like you've bought or just been given? Or
No, I have bought NFTs.
Okay.
I own NFTs, but I do it for the communities and for the people,
right.
and what they're aiming to do in the long term.
Gotcha.
Or how I perceive it, what they're aiming to do in the long term, whether it's good for the crypto industry and for if we actually want to have new people coming into crypto.
I get it. Yeah. Cause I think when I first started looking at them, I was just looking at the collection series. Like, what is it really like? Why do I want something that's just going to sit in a wallet and I don't really have it? It's like a piece of artwork that sits in your basement kind of thing. I love the fact that when NFTs have a utility, like I could use it as a gateway, or I could use it as a calling card, or a prize that I can give away, or something. And when we were about to launch our NFT system last year, I was so excited. I was a little disheartened when we didn't launch it due to some misconceivings of what the market should have been. But yeah, I've never been a huge collector of like cards and stuff. But in this particular case, I think I would have to create NFT Anonymous for myself because I would be very addicted to buying and reselling them. And it's like trading them up and trading them down and doing all like I'll give you 2 of these for 1 of those. And that's the other thing too, is that you can trade directly from this network too. The NFTs that you've made. So you can deliver them to people. You can deliver them to multiple people at that point with a good CSV in the system. But we're very happy with the program here. Now you have over at Tired Dads, you have an NFT system that should, once we get this up, you'll have it to where the artist will be able to mint and come straight to here. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are going to be putting there.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't.
You have a very, I don't know if it's my system or you. I don't know. You have a very long pause in between. I appreciate it, but I never know what to say. Should I say something in between, or did you hear me or not? But it's all good. All right. So let's get into the next portion of the show here with the state of Shogun. As you know, we have been building out and working with the AnvilBot 2.5. That's the volume, or that's the market volume maker, MVM. And it has been a real chore at times to try to get things fluid with a lot of people, right? Like anytime that you have a software system that requires you to have multiple people on board, we originally fired this thing off, as some of you know, as a system that housed a lot of people. Like it was a big giant boat. Like if you wanted to use the bot at version 2.0, you go into the boat and you would sit in the boat with all the other people. When the boat got full, you had to buy a bigger boat, or you had to go to another boat, or what have you. But instead, what we did is that we made this into what we call microservices. And microservices are the intent of every time a new user comes on, they're using their own boat. It's their own system. So basically hundreds and hundreds of little boats that the people are using, and each one getting their services. Now, when we talk about volume, of course, I'm talking about real volume. I'm not talking about some of the bundled volume that's out there. I'm talking about real market cap volume. And why is that different in the case of what real volume is compared to what? And I hate to use the word fake. I really do, but I've seen it. Like we have some people right now. We have 14 orders that are happening right now, and I'm going to show you one here that you can kind of see where the volume is and what it has been doing over a period of time. Now you can see this little this little picket fence here system they've used. I don't know if you guys can see this at all in the screen there, but there is like a little line because it's so small down there. They're not trading a lot of volume at once, right? It's very low. But what they are doing is that they're trading consistently. And this is what it does. Real volume, real market cap volume moves the chart. Not a lot, right? But it also keeps it relevant, right? You can see here, they do have natural organic volume as well, but they also have it to where it's filling in that volume. And when that is happening, that volume of the organic plus I won't even say non-organic, because it is somebody's wallet system in there. It's either the owner or it's another market or a holder that's on there using the bot. But bot traffic this way for your market volume and your market cap is relevant. It does work. As these guys have been working through they've had some big, huge sell-offs. When these things happen, you tend to kind of go to the panic mode, right? But the bot will help smooth all that stuff out. And every time there's a big sell-off, you can see that they turn the bot back on to help with volume coming back to the chart in that process. Collies is a great community to go check out as well. They have a lot of good stuff over there. If you check out their website and their network, great little community over there. Love the animal. Anytime there's an animal one, that's always a lot of fun too. Another big one too is Bluey Bear, that uses the bots in a high stable fashion, which is really powerful for them. You can kind of see that every time that there's just a huge amount of we call relevance volume, right? This is where it's keeping it relevant. It's not a lot. It's a 1K a day kind of thing in volume. So it's not a lot, but it's enough to keep it relevant to the chart, to Dex Screener, and to those systems out there. Do you have any viewpoints on volume, Jay? And the network?
Well, I do like the bot you guys have built.
Mm-hmm.
What comes to volume and having an organic one, I think it's from the perspective of the volume, I don't think it matters that much, but how much you can operate the bot if you use the correct settings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Makes it a
there's
lot easier to produce continuous volume for a lot longer period of time.
mm-hmm. Well, we also have to remember that the power of volume itself in a meme coin, in Solana itself, is not just about up, right? Volume doesn't equal up in the market. Volume is also down. You will create volume with sell-offs, right? Yes, that stuff happens. But what we call cross-hatching of creating at let me see if I can just pull up a pen here. As others, you see like these little injections of volume pluses there, drives the market up. The sell-offs here slowly come off, right? But what it does is that when you create the bot, because you can have multiple lines in the bot, multiple, we call multiple swap orders in the bot, and you can have one that's say maybe a 3 to 2, right? And that means that there's 3 buys to 2 sells, and then you can have another one that's you say 4 to 7, right? And the indifference between the two, right? Like this does less buys than it does sells, and this one does more buys than sells until it gets to a point where they flip, and then if you've done them right, they'll flip in return. But what it does is it adds congruency to the market, and because they cross each other at certain times, this one may be going down, but this one will help drive it out. It'll even it out when organic sales come in or out. Also, what will happen with the bot, right, with the Anvil bot, because the Anvil bot is not just about creating relevance to volume, it is also about creating the value of movement. And also, because there's that movement, and sometimes when people decide to sell off or they decide to do certain things, it creates an availability to like if you have a bunch of sells that are happening at the same time someone's selling off, it could create the market to go down a little at that point. But then what happens is that then it buys when the market's lower, and it creates a good buying opportunity. And as people are coming in and buy in, and then it sells off a little higher, now that's a money making opportunity. So the Anvil bot is not just about creating volume; it is also about creating and generating wealth as well, and it can be done. And just even if it's paying the fees that are in there, that means that the bot can still create volume over a longer period of time. But Bluey Bear is one of those coins out there that uses the bot extensively as a tool to create relevance and create consistency in the process. Tequila is another one. We have a few in here. Even us at Shogun, we're using it as well in our own bot. We have no fear of using the bot. We talk about Giga Chatette as well. This one is up to 570,000. You should also check these guys out. These guys are huge. In our network, they have a huge network, 1,500 people in their network over on their Telegram. They have, if you're into working out, if you're into this type of lifestyle, you're going to see and really pick up some good information over there too. But it is a community that, while using the system that they have there, has a very consistent value to their bot and creates the volume when they need it and how they need it. He asked me yesterday if there was an opportunity, like if you're going to be putting a lot of money into volume, we want to be able to help you. So I reduced some of the fees down for them so they can put more volume in and heavier over a period of time. And it seems to be working very strong for them. Yes, you're actually right, Putin. I'm going to put this up here, and I want to explain to you something too. You're absolutely right that they are bots, right? Most of them are bots. But what happens in these other bots that are out there, this is not about the Anvil bot, and here at Shogun is never, ever, ever about faking volume, right? People need to know like this is real volume. What happens with most of the bots that are out there, they create something called a bundle, right? That means, like in an example, they would make a let me see if I can pull this one up here. There you go. Put that. They make a 2-to-1 ratio happen, right? So they'll have 2 buys and 1 sell. The 2 buys may be random, right? So maybe $2 and then $3. But then the sell will be the equivalency of the randomness from the first 2. But they'll do it all in one bundled trade. that means 3 trades are happening exactly in 1 second. Okay. And in that 1 second, the volume, the market cap does not go up and it does not go down. But the only thing that changes is the volume amount. And that kind of fake bunt, making it look like it's fake. And plus they add just hundreds and hundreds of wallets. That's what we call memory wallets. That makes it look like there's holders, but there's really not. Excuse me. So Poot, you're absolutely right. Volume is tough on Solana because there are a lot of fake bots out there. But the Anvil bot is never going to put out a fake network system. So it looks like it's actually people. You know, we're not going to make them talk. We're not going to make them do anything else. Man, there's some really unscrupulous people out there in the network. But what this does is that it creates, each one of those is a actual buy and a sell to the chart actively over a period of time. So it does affect the market value. And a lot of these guys are getting community members to come in and make the bots or make the trades as well using the Anvil bot in that process as well. So we're always trying to be in keeping our head above that that inappropriate level in the line of volume and this industry. But yes, you're absolutely right. Volume in Solana is tough to justify. But again, when you find very good companies like us that want to create these things to be on the up and up, that's where you kind of set yourself aside from everything else in there. If anybody has any questions, if you're watching this now, we have about 57 people watching from our network here, which we really appreciate. Wow, Mr. Trader Max is actually now at 19, which is awesome. Shogun Crypto is 18. We got Aim in for Better. I guess that's yours, Jay. And Tired Dad with 9. You got 11 over there. Awesome. Great to have everybody here. We are slowly getting back into the swing of things with our show. And that brings me to the next portion of this. We are getting back into the show again by bringing all kinds of things from this industry to you guys, whether it be website systems or what have you. Our new series that's coming out with the State of Shogun is AI automation, AI agents. How do we build them? How do we get them structured? We're running right now. We had a team of people that were running advertising and marketing and putting content up. And now we have it to where in about a week from now, we're going to have it to where our bots, our AI agents, will make the content, distribute it to the social media system, put it in our Telegram, get feedback from it in the Telegram, distribute more content out there from that feedback, and post it into all the social medias as well, and give us details on the connectivity of it, like how well it's done. So we know that later it can then go back and say, okay, these ads from this particular one did very well, while these didn't. Let's make more content this way. So it's almost like machine learning at that point. We started out very slow, even in our own Telegram group. You'll simply, let me pop up into our own Telegram group. You'll see that there'll be certain, here we are, some right here. These ads all right now are fully generated, not even ads, but just information, right? And they're completely automated, but they're done not just with some random ChatGPT prompt. That's not what I'm saying. But in here, it is done with the language model of everything that's about Shogun. And soon we'll have the availability, but with that language model, to be able to answer questions in here as well. We're putting this type of AI agent system in all of our support systems, from our website support system to our Anvil support to our newly founded Shogun Fusion, in that stuff. And the Shogun AI agents will be in there, being able to talk to people, help them navigate, teach them things, where to go, how to learn things. You can ask them, where is this? And it'll tell you exactly where to go, to give you a link. It'll help you get through that process. But it'll also learn from you as well. It'll create FAQs, which is crazy. Like, it's going to create an FAQ of every question that's asked. We've been testing it in the one. And I already, just me asking it 4 or 5 questions, I've already created 2 frequently asked questions in there on our knowledge base system in there, which is pretty powerful. It'll also take scrapings from the internet and news cycles, RSS feeds, and remake content and deliver that out there to keep you informed about all things that affect us at Shogun and our network. So we're slowly finding what the communication systems are that are out there that can help these communities as well. All right. So we have just a ton of things that we've discussed already, and I know that's a lot already for some of you that are here. With our Shogun Fusion system coming online full time here, roughly in 2 to 3 days, we're going to have our friends over at Just a Lotto on board. We're going to have a few things happening there as well. I don't want to give too much away. I was hoping that he was here, but he had an emergency that came up. We're going to try to be over in Tire Dads with our NFT launch there as well. So we are excited. We are also this Saturday, we're going to try to house a show with a few of the old heads that have been with us for a little while and come out and talk about some good alpha that's coming out and some great things there. Jay, anything you want to announce or go over?
Nothing to announce, nothing to go over.
No worries. All right. Well, I think personally there is, if some of you, anybody in the industry here, if you're watching the Shogun Gun Show here on Tuesday, the 24th of June. And if you have any questions about the industry, about things, you can ask in the chat room there in the process there. But we just have had a really hard couple of months building out things and making stuff happen. But with perseverance and patience, it takes a certain type of people to get to that next level. And even in the midst of when you think things are just about to switch, there's always something new that comes out. There's always something that breaks or something that happens. So we've been very open to kind of creating these things and getting it out there as much as possible. Relationships change, things move on, things happen. We do appreciate Dante at AF from over at Just a Lotto. Welcome. We appreciate you being here today. All right. I think personally, because there's not a lot to kind of go over in the system, and we were expecting to have Ghost here today to go over some stuff. But again, this stuff happens, doesn't it? It's just been crazy. I just wanted to kind of come in, touch base with all of you, and talk about the industry. If some of you've noticed, the price of Solana has been playing back and forth. Jay, are you very government or pro-government, not pro-government, political at any sense at all?
I'm completely against government control.
Yeah, me too.
Of any kind.
Well, I don't want complete anarchy, but I do want. I want some governmental control. I'm like right in the middle with control, but not so much control, but services and things needed. And we got to have infrastructure. I don't want like no infrastructure, but I just don't want them telling me what I can and cannot do. I mean, lawlessness is not my idea either, but I am for some of the stuff, just not the red tape nonsense that continues to happen.
Yeah, it's government control doesn't mean that there's no government. But when we have laws and rules that apply that are meant to control people rather than just protect, then we are
exactly
in the wrong, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And what do you feel about regulations on crypto? Is that something that you look forward to, or is it something that you think that's just going to cause the downside to what we're doing?
That's a very good question too, because it's regulations. I don't think there shouldn't be any, but I don't think those regulations should come from the governments or the corporations, which currently hold the power in the fiat money world.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays quite a lot in crypto too.
Mm. I feel that there is a need for like security and control over, I don't know. I don't even know what to like insurance, not like the SDIC or FDIC, but I'm thinking more of like people to protect those people that are getting in this industry. I mean, it's what I've seen so far, like the wild, wild west kind of mentality, like, oh, look, my wallet just got drained. You never wake up in the morning and go, hey, look, someone just broke in my house and stolen my money out of my wallet. I don't think I'll call. I can't, who do I call? I don't know who to call. There's nothing you could do. Like there's no security in that network that you can go and say, hey, look, you guys got to investigate this and call the police or call the wild police. Do you ever see a solution for that in the world? Do you ever see something coming from, getting anonymous or somebody to come and be like, go hack our money back kind of thing?
Yeah, I think we should have. I don't know how to make it happen per how the humans are currently, but I think we should have AI centralized or a centralized AI, a command center,
Right.
that holds the identity of everyone. So everybody's irises are scanned, and
Oh, wow.
it holds the data in itself, and nobody can access the data except the AI.
That's all.
And
That for me is a little tough because it's like, who can control the AI? Who builds the AI, and who then
yeah,
has
yeah,
control
yeah.
of it? Once you step out of the room, you're like, okay, AI, it's all you. I'm seeing Skynet.
Yeah,
because you never
exactly.
scared
How
to
would you
death.
do that? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
sounds pretty much impossible to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think with the ease of use, and this is one thing that we always get worried about, right? Like there was regulations, like people building their first microwaves, right? The companies that were building their first microwaves, all the security, all the protocols in there that had to go, regulations against what you could have and couldn't have, the detriment of what these things would do. But it made our life easier, having a wallet system like Phantom or MetaMask with all that control and all that security, and then not have a way to report, to report a wallet. There's none. There's somebody could come in and they can write a software that if they send you something or they have access to your computer, they can hack your shit and steal all your money right out of your wallet, that it's their wallet, and then not have any protocols to chase that money back down, at least because everything's trackable, right? It's not like somebody came in your house and you don't have a picture of them. This would be like somebody came into your house tagged them, with, and they stole all your money and they put it in their bank account. You would immediately know where it went if your money was trackable, of course. But, like I wrote Phantom when we got hacked a couple of months ago, and they're like, there's nothing we can do. The money's already traveled to 4 or 5 other hands. I was like, yeah, but where every single cent went. Where every single Solana went. Where every single Shogun went in that process. When it was sold off and who it was sold to. And they had to get it out somewhere, so where it went. The problem is, if they do that, then I don't know, maybe they're out fees. Maybe they're still trying not to do anything because of the fees. Who knows? Maybe one day.
Yeah, I think we have to able to also carry a lot more responsibility as an individual in the world, acknowledging how the how the current world is. So taking care of ourselves and not always finding help or solutions from some institutional giants, organizations, governments. And I think people lack a lot in that area.
They do. They find themselves very uncaring in a way. Oh, look who just walked in the door.
Hello, handsome.
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Ghost?
My goodness gracious. I've been chicken with my head cut off out here today. What's up, OTD, one tired dad coin? How are you, Jay?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Don't mind me crashing the party. I just saw Trader Max. He invited me to come here. And my right-hand man has been basically on vacation for a whole week visiting his daughter who graduated high school. So I'm picking up the slack like an octopus all over the place trying to keep up. But I just wanted to stop up and say hi and see what you guys got cooking.
Yeah, because we had my right-hand man who decided that he was going to take a little vacation, go to his grandparents' house to jump into the pool, and we're like, "Go have it, man! Go have some fun." I said, "I got ghosts, and Jay could come in. We could do all this stuff, so it's all good." But
I appreciate you. I'm so sorry, man. I'm here though. I'm here now. I'm ready to go.
You're here, baby. You're lucky because I was just making like somewhat light conversation. We were talking about the government control over crypto and other things like that in the industry today, and tracking thieves and all that kind of happy horse shit. What's your point on crypto and needing like I don't know, what would you call it? Like a security system of, the regulation is one thing, but like if somebody comes into your wallet and drains your wallet, that's a thief, right? That's not just, oh, hey, I made a bad choice in buying and I lost my money because the market dropped, but these are people who are stealing your stuff. Like, do you think there should be some controls in the world, or somebody who can like track people down and like stop wallets and do all that kind of stuff?
I mean, there's two things. Number one, I think like the biggest thing about crypto itself is making sure you're securing yourself first. From an accountability standpoint, I've been fortunate enough to never really get attacked, if you will, on any personal, wallets, because I think as long as you're not connecting to anything, as long as you're not, clicking on malicious links, I don't see a way you can really get taken advantage of from like a personal wallet standpoint. However, when you're working with teams and you're building things and, obviously there's a lot more access that they have, there definitely needs to be some way, shape, or form to hold those individuals, accountable. And I don't know how that would work, but I would imagine there would be some type of insurance where you could pay for an insurance provider based on the platform. So like, for example, Phantom can charge you, $29.99 a month, and you can get a level of insurance that protects, up to $50,000 or up to $100,000 would cost maybe $49 a month. And then Phantom, just like, the fraud department at Chase, right? You can call upon them and they can look and see if there's any nefarious action going on the blockchain. And if you can clearly see it's a bad actor that's been tampering with it, they could ultimately reimburse you. The problem is, I don't know who would insure this type of activity because there's a lot of loose, individuals that are loose with their information.
Yeah.
So again, if it's a personal wallet and you're not connecting to anything and you're not clicking on any malicious links and you don't see a random coin and go, oh my God, I just got a free $200 and you're trying to toggle with the coin.
You just mentioned the first 3 hacks I've seen when I first started here. I never personally had a wallet taken from me, but because I've been in cybersecurity for a long time with all our websites and stuff. So I kind of look out for it. But man, I've been hit a few times where I clicked on something because I thought it was somebody else. Like when the first time that somebody impersonated one of my members in the Shogun network, and I clicked on it and they're like, hey, could you send me some money? I just need a couple extra bucks. And I went, sure. And I clicked on the wallet. I went to click on the wallet address and I clicked on a link. And as it came up, all my security systems went crazy and I shut everything. I followed all the protocols, got everything down, redid my passwords, redid everything, didn't lose anything. But then I had one of my partners who did the same thing. They clicked on something in X and she had her wallet drained of, a lot of money in the network in there.
Yeah, it's rough, dude. My business partner has been hacked. He got hacked twice. And this was from, this is why it's difficult. He started getting into the trenches and decided he was going to start looking on some pump fund coins. And this is when meme coins were going wild when Solana was at its all-time highs.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, he clicked on the DEX that took him to a Telegram. The Telegram that he ended up getting into was one of those safeguard links. And we had to say lotto, right? So it seems pretty normal. Well, it was an imitation safeguard link. So when he clicked on it and he saw all this real activity, or so he thought, which was probably filled with bots acting like this coin's about to go to the moon.
Yeah.
And when he clicked on it, he essentially gave him access through Telegram through his Trojan, which was the trading platform he was experimenting with.
Yeah.
And he only put one soul on it. He was only just trying to kind of figure out the trading aspect of meme coins. And they took his tokens. And he actually got a DM on Telegram. And the guy had a little bandit, little robber, old school black and white striped bandit, looking like the one from McDonald's back in the day. And he was like, gotcha, and my boy was like, what?
The Hamburglar.
Hamburglar. There it is. I couldn't think of it. Yes. The Hamburglar was literally his PFP, dude. And my business partner like sent me these screenshots. He's like, dude, I want to wring this guy's neck. I'm so angry right now. I don't even care. It's just Solana, but like throwing it in my mouth about it, dude. Like, how did he do this? And my guy's really tech savvy, very tech savvy. He does marketing for a living.
Yeah. And
so he actually started one of the first, payday loan type of scenarios 20 years ago in college. Like it was, and then sold the company for a lot of money. But he's very savvy, dude. And out of nowhere, he deletes Trojan. All right, I'll go with BullX like everyone else is going with, And so he deletes Trojan and he jumps on BullX, and he had 20 million lotto tokens. This is like, dude, we're talking on our first run up to $1 million market cap.
A lot of money right
and
there.
We start getting cracked hard, like really hard. And he's my go-to. I call him, he's got the money fountain, I'm like, yo, it's time. He's like, oh yeah. And he's like, I can hear him like shuffling towards his computer. He's getting ready to buy the fucking dip. He's all amped about it. And he's like, it's gone. I'm like, what? He's like, everything is gone. I'm like, oh, you must have had like a stop limit on it. How much Solana is in your wallet? Nothing's in there. It's gone.
Oh my God. All of it's gone.
It was valued at like,
it
was like $20,000 at one point is what it was worth for him. Again, dude, that's like chump change to him. To us, that's like, I need that, But to him, it's like, how did this just happen again? And it turned out there was that same phishingware or whatever you call it that got
never left.
He never really left. So he got a DM from the same guy that was like, thanks for the 20 bandos. And now he's just having a full-blown conversation with this guy. Like, look, dude, I'll send you an entire Bitcoin if you just teach me how you did this. Like, I need to know how this is somewhat possible. Right. And he was really just trying to get any information he can. But he did a lot of research in it, and it turned out it was from a safeguard link, dude. That was suspect. So it is hard to like completely say, oh, if you don't do this, you're fine. No, there's ways there's for sure.
Well, we had, because my security software for my home network and my computer network are pretty big. I used to be a fiduciary for a banking network and a trading platform. And one of the things that I had to do is that they bought all the software for me. And I spend like $150 a year in fees to reinstall everything and make sure everything's up to date, which is worth every fucking penny, let me tell you, because you send me one wrong link with it's not perfect. It does red alarms on me. So I had opened up my email. My programmer and I were working with a cloud-based system through Google, and it said Google Cloud. And I was getting these like every couple of days. It said Google Cloud, your credit card didn't get processed. And I took a second, and as I clicked into the email, I clicked on open up instead of, I just wanted to see what the image was that was there. And that's all it took. Everything fired off, and everything was like, protocol number 1, go down and change. And like, it's just sending me through all these things to do. And it was terrible. But even with all my experiences, there are so many different ways to get you. I had somebody send me a link through my phone. They tried to get me through my phone again, where they send you a link and they're like, hey, I got a new phone. Who's this? And I said, Max. And he goes, hey, Max, don't worry. And he goes, hey, remember this? And it sends a photo, but it's really, really tiny. And he's like, click on that to see what it is. And I went, oh no, like that would like woke me up for a second. And I'm like, delete. Yeah, right. And I didn't do shit. I was like, but man, these guys are just like, they're out to get you, and they're going to find ways. They're going to try to find ways to get in, especially once they find out that you're the dev of a wallet. Like, I don't even go now. I don't even want to get another Telegram. I can't take any chance that my Telegram could ever get taken over or done, because there we go. There's controls on Anvil. There's controls on all these things. So it's a tough industry, man.
It sure is, dude. You just definitely got to be cautious, man. I think it's too easy to get, had to, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm paranoid. So like, I literally have a rule where I don't click links, and all people I've been working with in Web3 for a year, and they send me a link and I'm like, I don't click links. And like, oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. Like, still, dude, like, you don't trust me? I'm like, no, dude, it's not you. What if you got hacked and it's not even you on your phone at this point?
Unless you're physically on the phone with me or in a chat VC, and I'm in, and you were both in the same room, and it's you in that room, that's it, right? That's the only time I'll trust anything that's done. But I've had people like DM me and they're like, hey, I just talked to you in the room. Let me send you this. You know what? If you can't send me the open value of the link and I can trace it, I don't need it.
Such a good point.
What about you, Jay? What do you use? What do you do for security for yourself? Is there any tips out there that you have that you've noticed, or basically the same thing we've talked about?
I can't tell you that.
You'd have to kill me then?
No, but then it's not giving away that security.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess that's one way to look at it. Don't tell anybody what you do, so that way they don't know how to circumnavigate it. He's like, I'm living in the closet.
Yeah, he secured his security. That was pretty secure.
Yeah, that's a secure. I'm not even going to acknowledge I have a key to my house. Damn it! I told that to somebody once, right? It was like, I use a ledger system, of course, and I have like so many different backups for it. In fact, we started with 3 ledgers. Now we have 6, and they have redundancy in them. And 3 of them are in my gun safe, and the others at a different location. So I don't even have it. Like before, I told somebody, I was like, you'd have to break into my house, get past my dogs, get past my very angry wife. You have to get past, my second-degree black belt son, and then get to me. And be able to take that from me and then wrestle the password out, do the whole thing, right? or buy me a Snickers doodle, or something, right? But
dude, my Snickers doodle's so good though, dude. I just bought a 12 Sunday.
Oh my god, man!
Watch the whole thing.
Yeah. Eat the shit out of that. But then, I was working with Forex, and I was trading Nadex, North American Derivative Exchange. I was making bots. I was doing these things, and I had this scary email. I've gotten thousands of emails from fake guys and doing phishing scams and all that shit. But this one's like naming names, showing pictures of me and my camera and that stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty harsh. This is why I ended up getting all the stuff I got, because of the fiduciary stuff. But they put out a red alert, and then I got a call from the State Department, because I used to work with the State Department many years ago. And I got a call from them saying, hey, look, your name came up. There's somebody that's putting stuff out for you. And, we found your name in these, and it has security information about where you live and all this other stuff. So my family and I were like, what the fuck? So we intensified security. We done all this stuff. And there were threats made, while we were making bots before, I pulled out of the industry for a little while because of it, but now I think the best thing that I do right now is I set myself away from the network every once in a while. I just get up and walk away from my computer, because there is so much stress that comes from this industry. Like I'll throw this out there. I had someone who sold 13 million coin today, right? 13 million. He's been with me forever. Decided that he's no longer wants to be in it, decided to sell it in the middle of the night, 13 million right out the door, right? $1,200 in his pocket. I'd rather have the $1,200 than the 13 million coin for whatever it's going to be later. Right? That's what he's probably saying to himself. But I see it when I see it on the thing. You know, the first place I go, holy fuck, did I get hacked? Who got hacked? What happened? I was like, hack. You know, and I'm checking wallets, and I'm in, you know, I got this little pill box over in my desk, and I pull it out and I put 2 aspirin in my body because my heart's fucking pumping out of my chest, worrying about we got hacked again or something. But that's sad. That's sad that this industry does that to people. And I've seen war, you know, so I've been in war, you know, and I think I'm calmer in war than I am in this fucking industry. I'll tell you that.
It is definitely stressful when you're you just know you got a lot of people relying on you.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's like I trust God unequivocally, man. I'm always in the headspace to say everything is exactly how it should be. Mm-hmm. However, there are times where you forget that in the moment. Mm-hmm. You just got to breathe, man. You just got to realize, like, you know, at the end of the day, it'll work itself out. You know, unfortunately, people do leave when their time is done. And, you know, I find myself being grateful for the time they did share with us. I find myself being grateful for the support that they may have once had. Yeah. But then I also understand that it's a buying opportunity for someone else. Sometimes that someone else is myself, but at the end
you start, you know, let's see, let's sell the jet speeder this week and put that in the coin kind of thing.
Hey, you know, I think it's crazy. I think it gets better over time though too. I think I don't know, man. Maybe I'm spoiled. I'm blessed beyond belief. I think my community is so big. I mean, we had someone that was not intentionally spreading FUD, but it came across a little FUD where he was just mentioning how, you know, don't you think it's weird? You guys have had the same 1,650 holders for a long time. Like, we need new buyers. And I was like, man, I mean, I think that's bullish. I think the fact that for the past 3 months, we've been above 1,650 holders organically. We're not buying holders and making it look sweeter than it is. No, I don't care if we have, you know, our 14 people in our, you know, 10 to 15 million plus, you know, lotto coins that they hold. Mm-hmm. We call it our whale group. I don't care if it's just us 14 continuing to buy the dip and accumulate on our own, you know, and the little guys just kind of hang tight with us, man, because at the end of the day, you don't need a big army of whales. You know, I think once FOMO is created, I think essentially the people that once traded your coin, they'll trade it again. They'll come in and bring in some high volume, and some people get a chance to skim and reduce their position size a bit so that they ultimately have, you know, a less risk on the table, if you will. But it's a long haul game. You know, you got to think. The one thing that, you know, Big YOLO, shout out to Big YOLO and Safe Moon YOLO, the father combo. Yesterday, man, they dropped a bomb on us, man. They told me straight up their newest coin in their ecosystem, they're going to have a third coin added to their ecosystem.
Oh, wow.
It has a tax just like the other two, right?
Yeah.
Man, 25% of their tax is coming to us, coming to me, essentially, to say, hey, whatever you think's good for the lotto, fam bam, it's all yours. Could be a little, could be a lot, but the fact that someone in the game for years trusts me and my project, with earning some resources from the volume their project has, is what tells me we're in the right spot. And trustworthy teams out there. Listen, they dropped Baby YOLO on the Binance chain, right? Yeah. They did a pre-sale, $75,000 in 17 minutes they raised. And instead of running like most of these shady people out there, what do you think they did? They put everything into this project, Trader Max. They don't even own any of their tokens. It's literally a community-based token.
Oh, wow.
And the fact that they're wanting to include us was so amazing. Oh my God, bro, my jaw dropped on the floor.
Yeah.
And so that's why I believe, like, hey, it is what it is. You go through sluggish times, there's ups and downs. But if you'd have told me, you know, almost 7 months ago, you'll be at $250,000 market cap from 35,000 when we, you know, posted it live. Mm-hmm. I would have been like, what a heck of a slow cook that is.
Right.
You see, and that's what we want. It's just because you see I can't even call it a deviation, a 10 million plus slap at one point with crazy momentum when Solana was 100, double the price it is now. And new coins were going crazy. Does it look like your coin is in a rough spot? But realistically speaking, man, we're going to be A-okay. And I know that, you know, and so you just kind of gravitate to people. And like Big Yolo said, there's a lot of like-minded individuals within Baby Yolo's community, our community, your community, legitimately Jay and Tired Dad community.
Oh, yeah.
They're all like-minded, right? They're builders, they're go-getters, they're ambitious, they're driven. And people stay for long periods of time with projects that they can enjoy a better version of crypto. You know, it doesn't have to be stressful. It doesn't have to be angry or upset or mad or too much highs and lows. It could be even keel with the right community. And I feel like we're kind of shaping a dominant force of communities that are basically just in every individual in there by now is here because they want to be a better version of themselves. They are inspired, or they do inspire. They are motivated, or they do motivate, you know? And I think it's just a matter of time that the good guys, the good players, the Maxes, the myself, the Interlink and Truckers, the Jays, you know, the even Tipsy tokens, you could tell like Shane and chat, bro, these are people that mean well.
Yeah, the Chow Meow, all of them.
Dude, the people that mean well will take this industry over by storm because the normies, they're not here yet, dude.
Right.
There's a percentage of them.
Not yet. Yeah.
They're not here yet.
Well, I think it's something that Jay and I and Mike from Tired Dads talked about as well, is the ADHD of hurry, quickly now, give me money, need money, bring it in. You know, it creates this mentality that people have to make promissories. Like, if you come in right now, you know, we're going to make this work and you're going to have to get this. And like we promised doing revenue share. But if you don't got people working, there's no revenue share because things aren't being done. You know, we were hoping that we would have a bigger, you know, launch out on the anvil, but then, you know, there's a lot of stuff behind it. It costs thousands and thousands of dollars to build these things, and they're not easy. And there's so much chance for them to go wrong. But one of the things I put down here in the little bumper here is whales or snails. Do either of you think like whale chat rooms, are they still a thing? I mean, I know you got one, Ghost. Is there a whale chat room for Tired Dad, Jay?
Yep. And I don't necessarily like the concept because it usually drives people to talk more in the whale room instead of then spreading more activity in the main community. But that's also somewhat required for the whales that have so much more control of the project and have a ability to damage it in some ways. They get to build better relationships between each other.
Yeah, that's a little different in there. Yeah, you're right. You know, I find that the whale systems that I've noticed out there have more a bigger redirection in one of two ways. Like if you don't have a relationship with your whale group, you tend to ostracize them, and they go the way via easily just seeing something in a regular chat room, right? They get very scared or what have you. But I've also seen on the opposite side of that, to where you can send an entire whale room going, leaving your chart, right? And I've seen that back at what was that coin's name? Damn it, I had it right there. Something Flex or something, whatever it was, Meme Flex or whatever it was. There was something out there there was a whole whale group, 10, 20 whales that were in there, millions of coin in the coin itself. And the owner just came in and said something, and then everybody's like, fuck you, I'm out. And like everybody left. I'm like, holy shit. You know, the whole place is gone. It's crazy. But what about you?
The one thing I like about it is, you know, with whales, I'm a big advocate about informing everybody always, you know, don't overextend yourself. Yeah. The only way you'll be able to see this through truly is if you do not overextend yourself. And it's been amazing for us because there's been times where people like, you know, in the whale group that are like, you look, man, I know you told me not to overextend myself, but unfortunately I lost my gig, dude. I don't have a job right now, you know, and I don't want to hurt the chart. Like, what do you guys suggest? And we're like, you know, how many you got? And the whale group collectively, I'll take 2 soul worth. I'll take 2 soul worth. I'll take a soul worth. I'll take 2 soul. Yeah. And before you know it, that person doesn't have to be embarrassed or leave with his tail in his ass or ruin the chart because of circumstances that have changed. And the whales get a discounted rate on their tokens, and they're happy. And it really, there's a few things I like about it. You know, also in the whale group chat, they're all workers for the bags. They're not just financial supporters. They're all like, hey, I think we could, hey, I think about this. What about this idea? Hey, one of them in my whale group is transitioning us to a new Discord that owned by myself. So that way we don't have to, you know, worry about it getting rugged ever. Just like our did, you know, another one.
God, that was terrible.
Yeah. Another one of our whale groups is players in our group is a really solid poster, man, like with such good substance. And so we share things that we see in that chat, and we essentially, you know, hit the timeline with it and repost it. And, you know, you get a lot more good has came from it than bad. There has been every once in a while, you know, got to make a new whale group chat because, you know, there's a bad actor in it. But I also think it's good to give the people that are putting a lot more resources in it. I think it's good to like kind of bounce some of your newest ideas off of them, you know, give them enough to say, hey, you know, like I would love input on this. This is what we're working on, because there's so many good ideas out there. And even when an idea is thrown my way and it's like, it's not an idea I think I would utilize, it actually sparks sometimes other ideas.
Yeah.
And I just like being around individuals that work so hard in real life that they can offer some of their input on specific things. And I really do believe it's been more beneficial than, I don't think I've seen any of the negatives per se versus the positives, but I do think it's also about what it's for, what it's utilized for. You know, I pride myself in communication. I really do try my hardest to always be transparent. And, you know, we do voice calls at least once a month, but we've done more than 7. So, you know, we'll jump on a voice channel on a Discord and we'll talk about some ideas they have and give them some timelines on some things we're looking forward towards. And I really do believe it's huge when you talk about, you know, the trajectory of your project.
Yeah.
Because it even gives them an opportunity to see if it's not enough for them, then they would leave. And that's okay. I'd rather them leave now than, you know, leave when we start ripping and it just decimates our chart. You know what I mean? So
sucks the momentum out of it.
Yeah. Where's coming from though, dude? I never really looked at it in that aspect of it. But yeah, for us so far, it's been really helpful.
Good. Yeah, because we have a snail group. You know, we have a group of people that are just there and they're always going to be there, and we move slow, and that's just the way it is. You know, but I don't have a whale group. I've never had one. I've had one in other ones and never had really good luck with them. Only because I feel some of them don't want to be thought of as whales, right? Because everybody starts leaning on them like, oh, they got money, I could do whatever. But I think some just like to be private and calm and not have anybody know. You know, but I see it because I have a lot of people's wallet addresses in there from when we first started. There is so much to discuss in this world of crypto today, and we discussed a lot of it already. You're watching the Shogun Gun Show here with myself, with Jay from Tired Dads, and we got Ghost from Just the Lotto. His crew just came in. Masamo, everybody else in there, welcome. Loving to see you guys are here. As soon as you turn on yourself, everybody just started flying off the handle here, which is awesome.
I forgot I had to do it, man. I was like, oh shit.
That's all right. I was good with, we were getting good numbers there anyway, but now you're gonna come in and cream me out, man, because this is gonna be like you're just gonna jump. But you see the numbers. Is, you know, it is what it is. But the thing that I'm really excited about, and which, of course, the moment we start getting some traction, of course, my poor guy, Efren or Jace or Scott. So damn, I'm giving out names now and shit. What the fuck? His uncle, you know, we were on a call. We're sitting there and we're making progress. We got everything on board, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's like, I just got a phone call. My uncle just passed. I have to go for a minute. I'll be back. And man, you know, because this guy was really close with his uncle and everything else. He's been back and forth. So my heart's out to you guys, Scott and your family and everybody else. Your condolences, our condolences go out to you and your family. But yeah, it's tough because just as you're getting ahead, things just start to life punches you. Life doesn't care, does it? It goes, or Jay, you know, either one. You know what it's like. You know, you get in, you're in a groove, and then all of a sudden, life, you know, the flat tire of life comes, and it's
it's clockwork. I've actually gotten to the point where I can time some shit nowadays. I'm like, shit's going real good right now. So when it comes, don't be surprised, you know.
Hey, I have an extra pair of shoes for when both shoes drop, but that's all I can tell you, man. I feel like that sometimes. Like somebody is walking around flipping my sneakers off my feet when I'm not paying attention. So, but there's
nowadays, man, where I like to embrace the trials and tribulations, man. I swear it's a yin and yang to me. It's there's definitely a balance that I've been able to kind of hone in on in my adult life. And I think you embrace it, you taste it. You know, I consider them speed bumps on the road to riches. It's like, you know, it is what it is, man. It's something you'll never ever appreciate highs if there's just no lows. Like if you're just constantly laughing and everything's just so fucking funny every day, it's the norm at that point. And what would make you laugh at that point? You know, it takes something over the top to really get you laughing. So I think you gotta have the smiles and cries. You gotta balance them out. You gotta also understand that just because things are tough, it's not the end of the world. It's not as catastrophic as it feels in the moment. You know, this too shall pass. And I think ultimately, just gotta. I think it's how you react to these things. You know, if you constantly let the rough times demoralize you, that's when quitting's an option. You know, I always say I have no quit in my DNA because every struggle that comes my way, I'm like, I'm close. I'm that much closer because once you outlast the struggles of anything you're working on, it fucking happens, dude. You have a breakthrough. And sometimes it's like not the mama says, like life doesn't give a fuck, dude. It doesn't look at you as isolate you in particular and say, well, you, my friend, can't have that. Like, no, you just got to work towards the goal and just keep pushing forward, man. And if you want it bad enough, it'll happen. That's my opinion. If you want it bad enough, it'll happen.
Jay, how do you handle stresses of life and crypto and network? What do you do to chill out and relax? Because you seem to be a pretty laid back individual.
Yeah, I don't really stress. It's very, very rare that I do stress about anything in your life. I just try to observe, and if things happen to me, then they happen to me, and then I respond to that. Of course, I do look towards the future too, but it's not like things are a must go the way that I want them to go right now, because I believe eventually they will.
Yeah. I found that when shit really hits you hard, you have to rely on your senses, but your relationships as well. Like, I teach martial arts, of course, and I've been in this industry for a pretty long time. I teach Qigong, and breath control is always a big thing. But there's certain times that you don't just stop and start breathing. You got to run. The people are coming after you. You got to fucking run, or you got to stand and fight and be ready, because your breath work is only going to be as fast as your hands are. I just recently went through a situation where we were building some things and some bad things happen, and everybody's coming at you. And the first thing you got to do is first, you just got to get your wits about you. You got to take a big deep breath and you got to calm down. You got to find the sense of direction. And that's what I had to do. I had to find out, okay, where did everything happen? Why did it happen? Where's it going? And then you got to relate that information to the proper people. Like I went straight at everybody and I talked to everybody about it. And it was tough because it was not just mistakes, it was issues and it was problems, but then you just got to go. But how I deal with it afterwards, and I'm going to show you this right now, it's a place that you can kind of see right here. This is my savior. This has probably saved my life more times than I can ever tell you. Not the bucket, right? But the world of Shogun martial arts, which we just created, was Panther Kempo for a very long time. And we just changed the name over to be Shogun here just recently. But I did this. I wanted to show you guys what that looked like because there is a value there. It's something that I love. So find something you love, whether it's your family members or something you like to do, and surround yourself in something that you can control and that you can be a part of it. That's how I condition myself to deal when the shit just hits the fan, is that I retreat back to my senses. I go wide, I spread out. And I keep it head on. I don't run. I stand and fight. And I think that's where a lot of people mistake, what's happened as, okay, oh, there's a failure there. No, I'm still here. Ghost, you and I have talked quite a bit about all the shit that's happened to you and happened to me. And you're still here. You're still fighting every single day.
100%, man. I think it's, I think that's when you're that much closer, because I think the true soldiers battle through that. And I think the ones that have a little bit more growth needed are the ones that kind of, they give up or they quit. It didn't work out how I thought it would, so it's over, whatever. Yeah. Where the ones that are like, no, fuck that, and shit ain't over. I don't hear no fat lady singing. I'm ready to go. You know,
my ex mother-in-law is not singing any Sopranos.
Exactly.
Sorry, Quentin. Your grandma. I can't help it. He's watching. I don't know. He's living La Vida Loca over at his grandma's house right now. He's just like in the pool, swimming, having a good time, seeing the sun. It literally is hotter than a witch's tit in Texas. Here it's like 100 and something degrees here in Pennsylvania, right? Pennsylvania, that's supposed to be that hot here. I can't even imagine. Is there like a heat wave happening in California right now?
Not yet, actually.
Not yet.
But usually when states like you guys in Pennsylvania are talking about heat, we're like, oh no.
I know, right? That's like you guys talking about snow. It's like, nope, I don't like it. You guys said so. And the funny thing is that because we just opened up the dojo, this is what I mean when things go wrong, right? Like I retreat to my dojo. Like I go there and I work out and I hit things and whatever. But you get there and the air conditioning's out. And I'm not talking, this isn't some sort of like window size air conditioning. This is a $50,000 air unit up on the roof, right? And the owner of the building, which is not me, I just lease the space, but the owner of the building comes walking in. Balls is the size of fucking Houston. And he comes in and he goes, that thing's old up there. We got to replace it. And he goes, we're just going to replace it. It won't be until next week to June 30th. Is that okay? He goes, I'm going to give you a free month and taking care of what it is. I was like, I didn't even have a chance to respond. I didn't have a chance to go, oh man, this sucks because we're just starting out. We have all these new people coming. I didn't have a chance to respond. He goes, we got you covered. Bop, 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 bop. I'm like, now I know I'm going to be here forever. You know what I mean? So, when you make these relationships, and you're right, I know everything is about to hit because the big things happen and they get swatted. They get smacked away. And it doesn't affect anybody as much anymore. It's like, nope, we know, we got you. You're here with us. I know that I put the work in. I know that I have the strength. We had one of our people sell the 13 million. I don't even really worry about it anymore. I like you said, I thank you so much for being here and being a part of this thing up till now. And I'm sorry that it didn't work out for you, but we're still moving on. I hope you don't have any regrets later. I really don't, but I wish you the best.
Yep. Wish you well.
Wish you well.
I wish you well. There are times, I'm not a spiteful person or a vengeful or anything of that nature, but there are times where it does give me an extra drive. I think my biggest drive is the little guys that believe in you, You always want to ensure that they can get that massive win one day. And if you can help attribute to that, what a great feeling. Just knowing that they're happy and they're winning. But sometimes it's the ones that you get close to that do the worst damage because there's an emotional feeling attached to it as well. It's not just about the situation, but it's also the emotional state of mind behind it. And I gotta say, man, sometimes those give me that extra oomph too, man. Like I said, I'm not a vengeful or spiteful, but I do want you to regret your decision. You know why? Because I've been transparent and pure and done everything I can in my willpower to be transparent with you, and it wasn't reciprocated. And so for that reason and that reason only, I'm going to ensure when you look back, you're going to say, why did I just, why didn't I at least communicate? Because there's one thing I can always promise, everyone I do business with or work with or create friendships and relationships with is you're going to get a response. You're going to hear where my thought process is. I'm going to act upon it as such. I'm going to be transparent. And even if you don't like it, I'd rather you know where I stand. I'd rather you know it's not from an ill intent standpoint. And not everybody is going to do that for you. And it sucks, but it's the reality of it. you can't expect everyone to react the same way you're going to react in every situation. So you just got to accept people for who they are, and small price to pay to know not to do something extremely large with that individual, you know?
Yeah. I think it's been for, especially for Shogun, the ideas of what we had in the beginning and what they've turned out to be are vastly underrated because we just didn't move fast enough for some. For me, I've built brick and mortar businesses. So my idea, my thought was, hey, when I was first asked in the very beginning, back in September, or even before September, even before we started the coin, they're like, how fast can you build this system up where we can start making money? I said, well, it can make money tomorrow, but whether or not it goes out to everybody else really depends on the profit and how much. We get a lot of people in and it starts getting movement and we turn the machine on and it becomes viral, then it could be very quick. But it could also, I built my restaurant and I had it for 3 years and I still wasn't in profit margin. I've built, the bigger the business, the longer it takes to get the profit margin. I had a hot dog cart. I bought the hot dog cart. Next weekend, I was in profit margin, right? So, I've had them all, but there's a concept there that most people think that return on investment is immediate, that, to build out, once it's built, it's got to be profitable kind of thing. And it's not. There's just so much that goes into building networks and solutions. And I think crypto is sort of thinking because of I think pump fund has gotten to that point where it's like, oh, it's rags to riches quickly, and then everybody's out, or I'm going to get rugged. It's either success or a huge failure, and even their idea of success is fleeting. It's like, hey, I just made a 5x on that. It's like, listen, I'm not here for a 5x. That means that I put $50,000 into this coin, $60,000. That's only 300,000. I'm looking for 40 million. I'm looking for 100 million. I'm not here for a 5x. I'm sorry. I'm here for the multi-million opportunity over a period of the next 5 years.
Yeah, instant gratification, man, is not worth it. The faster you grab it, the faster you drop it. I mean, I think I'm telling you, man, slow cooks, longevity, consistency, working towards your goals. Those are the most rewarding and fulfilling thing because you just, it took you a long time to make it. You got a high appreciation and you see the value in your work efforts. It's like, man, you're planting seeds, you're watering it, you're watching it grow. If you just bought a plant and it grew and drops the fruit, like you don't appreciate that fruit taste, man. I'm telling you right now, dude. Seriously, dude, grow your own orange tree and peel that first orange. You're like, oh my God.
Not your very first orange or your very first pear for a pear tree, because that shit's sour as fuck. Right? It's a third year, right? For a pear tree, it's 3 years. For an apple tree, it could be 4, right? It all depends if you graft it with anything. So you're right, man. It is tough, for people to be like, hey, this is the basic of the fruit. No, it's not. They're like, we got into profit margin. So we were in profit margin in January because we had no bills. Right. And so we were in profit margin, like a couple $100. And it was crazy, right? But our bills are like $3,000 or $4,000 a month because of servers. But in June or in May, we were to our very first profit margin with all of the bills, with all of the other secondary systems in there, and paying the proper people, the programmers at the time. We didn't pay the outreach people just at that point. But we got to a point where it was like, we're finally at this point. Will we be in profit in June? I don't know, but we will definitely. We're on the way there, just to be above, just about barely into it. But there is so much to say for a thank you very much, my man. I appreciate you. Glad to see you here. But we got to a point finally where now, after almost a year, we're getting to a consistent value of profit margin, even still at the lower base. We built the NFT marketplace. We didn't build out the entire thing with all the great stretches because that would have taken a year. But now we have something. We start off with a nice little model. You can go in and mint a coin. You can sell a coin. You can sell your own coin. You can create an auction, a fun little system in there that creates that sense of loss, that sense of urgency, right? That missing out, that creates a little FOMO. We know, right? We've all been a part of auctions before, especially if it has great utility. Now, I know Ghost, you and I don't know if we want to announce anything, right? We won't do it. We won't tempt the gods to come down to us and drop both of our shoes off. But we have something that's working and gelling in that's pretty powerful. That I can't wait till we can really announce this and get it in there and start showing this. It's going to be amazing for you.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's I've always been one to try and under promise and over deliver, essentially. I think number one, crypto's rough, dude. It's an imitation game. And so you're excited about something, you talk about doing it. Next thing you know, there's people that can allocate the time and effort, resources to just get it done overnight, it feels like. And you're just like, damn, dude, so I try and hold my cards close to my chest. But then the other side of the coin is, not everyone's going to love what you're doing. I've realized that the hard way. It's like, I remember when we first had our NFT drop, part of me was super excited, but the other part of me realized something in particular. And it was the fact that I've never been an NFT guy, never was into them, never could care less. It didn't tickle my fancy, sincerely. Right. And long story short, until I got my first NFT, did I realize how cool an NFT was. I was like, dude, it's like a sense of ownership. It's like a collector. It's one of one. It's really fun. But also, I understood that not everyone's gonna get their first NFT, right? Yeah. They don't have that exact same experience. And in some cases, people get their first NFT and they don't give a shit about it. It's like, oh, that's cool and all. But so, you know what I mean? So it's like there's really nothing you can do by announcing that you have something like that coming. And expecting there to be the best sentiment from it. I think that's why I've always been one to say, hey, I'm working on something. As soon as it's ready and I'm dropping it, no one can imitate it. It's already out, and they can try their hardest to imitate it at that point, but they can't duplicate it. And then on the second side of it, there's no lead up to it, to where you have all these people buying because of it. Yeah. And it's buy the rumor, sell the news event on accident. You just created that on accident. Yeah. And you're like, I don't understand. Our NFTs dropped and they sold out in 17 minutes, but my chart's getting dumped on. Well, dude, everyone riding high with that momentum. It's here. They're done. They're on to the next. So that's why I'm just really hush about things. I don't even know if all of the crew knows that who I'm building with is you, essentially. I think that's how private I am for the most part. But as we gear up for the launch and we get closer and closer to it, I've been a little bit more open with like, look, dude, it could be tomorrow, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks. It really just depends on what is going on, and that's things that are out of your control, my control, their control. So rather than getting too hyped up around it, I just say, look, man, I'm building, and I have builders that know how to build a lot better than I can. I'm just telling people what I'd like to have come to fruition, and they're putting their 2 cents on it. They're coming up with their creative touch. I love giving the reins to creators because I think they don't feel restricted in a sense, and they get to really pull off something that what your vision and view of it all is completely different than what it turns out to be. And sometimes that's actually a lot better than the gist of it all. I'll tell you, quickly with Baby Yolo, I knew she was one of the best creators of all time. And I believe that in my heart. Every line has mental health awareness, human trafficking awareness, cancer awareness, ribbons that are just Easter eggs on her art. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool, but I never knew what lore was. I'm like, hey, I want NFTs that somehow can become, PFPs, which was Parker's idea. But at the same time, I wanted like Easter eggs, like let's put a number on each one of them, visible, but hidden. And that's their ticket every week. I think that'd be really cool that they can get a chance to hit the lotto by owning one of these. I think that's cool utility. I want to give them half off poker. Like, let's put some utility, some functionality with these NFTs, so it's not just a cool picture. And man, I gave her an image of the first idea I had, and she made the exact image. And I was like, wow. I don't know, man. I don't know if I like this. Can you do me a favor? Can you do your creative touch on everything we just discussed? And she's like, done. And she came back with the lotto ballers. Wow. Where they're, and I swear to God, every time someone hits the lotto, I look at the NFT that wins, and I'm like, how did I not remember seeing this? Yeah, that's amazing. Right. Dude, it's that detailed that they look different almost every time I see it. So I think creators need to be in their pocket of creation, where there's not pressure on them for time, for a linear time frame, And I think they also need to have the freedom of letting their own creativity come to fruition, because every NFT we have from Baby YOLO, you could tell they're hers, but it's still in line with what exactly we created since the start. And I think when you start putting pressure on people about the timing of it, they're just going to half-ass shit on accident, trying to appease it. So you just got to let people do their thing, and you got to be patient, and you got to let them know that there is no pressure on time frame, because that way when it's ready, it's fucking ready.
Yeah.
It's the right way.
We did for the NFT marketplace, we did the modularization system, right? Where we lowered it down to just the minting and just the marketplace. Don't worry about Fusion. Don't worry about all the other secondary systems that we have hidden in back that I won't talk about till we launch, right? Fusion has now been leaked out. Like everybody knows that it's two that you can push together and make into something more. But there's also some things that are coming that are pretty wild, but I can't talk about. But I created the crew that's over there, the team that's building it. I told them I want to take the pressure off of you of having to build this giant network, financially and modular as well. But be prepared, because we're going to make 5 or 6 modules that will add on to this, but will create new awareness to it. Like every new module that's coming out is going to be like reinstall, because too many people they try to build one big giant thing, and then it comes out and everybody's like, okay, there's nothing next. And then they'll do updates, but it's usually just code updates. This is going to be once the minting, then the first Fusion module come out, which will be something that we're related to, right? And then after that, another module and another module and another module. But each one will be like a whole new release, a big giant reinvestigation or reinvestment into the system. So very, very excited about it.
There's a couple things I think that's important with all of it too. I think familiarity. I think the iPhone 1 came out versus the iPhone 16, dude. You crazy? Can you imagine if they waited until they had shit like the iPhone 16? We're talking years, decade. So
exactly.
I think there's familiarity, right? Where you can create like a mass adoption, if you will, to just being able to know where to go and mint and start from the bare bones, and then you get a big enough crowd that's familiar with that particular route to take. And then essentially when you do start adding modulars and it starts, stacking on top of that, they already know where to go. They're already kind of familiar with the layout. And I think that ultimately it simplifies it. I think if you go straight for the end result, it's actually confusing. It's actually, it's complex. And I think that this is a simple market. People want to know they can get to somewhere and make it happen in moments, that instant gratification that we all crave. They need to know that's how it is at first. And then again, they'll get familiar with it if they like it and they want to keep, partaking in the festivities, if you will. Once you add on specific features, it's not so overwhelming when you first enter the arena, if you will. So I'm actually really excited that you peeled back some of the layers, because I've been telling the crew the same thing. I'm a perfectionist. I want it to be ready, but when it's ready, it's fully done, and it's this and it's that. And I also want to time it with the market. And I also am working on the website and a merch store we're integrating with the website. And I want it to all be done at the exact
same time.
But dude,
it's so bad, man. It's so bad.
Why?
You're like my brother from another mother, man. I'm so frustrated with him. Sometimes I get frustrated at myself because I'm like, I could have made that easier. I could have made that a little easier. Right. But it's just sometimes I look at it. It's like we'll have a conversation in the backstage of the show, but there is like things with them. It's like we all got it and we all like rushed in. We're like, oh, this is gonna be great. And then I went, so what happens if somebody comes and puts porn on it? What do we do? And they're like, you delete it.
We buy it. No, I'm just kidding.
Buy it. Buy the porn. Let's go. Then they're like, no, we're going to make a whole new KYC. I was like, I don't need to know who they are. I just need to prevent them from building anything until I get to see who they are. Like I'm going to like and so they're like, well, we got to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And this. I was like, yeah, that's too many moving parts. How about just take the create button away until they email me, and once they email me or they fill out a form, and then I push them to give them access, and they're like, yeah, okay, we can do that in a day. Before it was like, there's another month, we got to go. No. I need something that you can do in a day. And so that's what they're doing right now. Unfortunately.
That's actually really funny, because you never really put 2 and 2 together on the builds of stuff until you're in it. We always are accustomed to seeing final product. And sure, updates, like you said, small updates here and there, but you never really realize the silliest of things that'll come into play until you play with it, man. Seriously.
I mean, I got access to I've had access to the database the whole time, but he's like, but now I need to give you writer access, and that's going to take a little bit more. So we're like going through Postgres and like this Prisma system, and we're like doing all this stuff, and I had to fill out all this information and this data because again, we're spending a lot more time on the security networks and auditing and everything else to make sure that there's no funny business in the back with anything that's happening. So we're very, very secure in our network. And after meeting with Blowfish and Kelvin vouching for us for Blowfish and Phantom Wallet and MetaMask and all that stuff, it's been a dog's age of stuff. Man, I can't thank you enough for being here today, brother. Even coming in late was awesome. I can't thank you. Jay, thank you so much for being here as well. I do have some things that we're going to be doing. Of course, we're going to be talking a lot more, Jay, in the future.
I hope so.
Yeah, we have and again, I don't want to give away too much, man. That's like all these great things that are coming. Like we have a locked coin system coming that we'll be locking over 500 million of the Shogun. We're coming up to our year that we've, September would have been a year with the coin, but at the end of this month, closer to this, like the 25th, so tomorrow is our 1 year anniversary of me coming into this industry in full time into like crypto with meme coins and Solana. The 25th of June was my first day in this network last year. So not too bad of what we've done. I know tremendously there is a lot happening. If you're watching the Shogun Gun Show with our friends from Ghost from Just a Lotto and Jay from Tired Dad. We've been talking about a lot of great stuff here today. Is there any final statements either one of you want to come out and say? Jay, you first. Anything you want to finally say?
Not really. This was a nice conversation.
Good.
I get to listen to you too.
Right. I got you, buddy. Well, I appreciate you being here and sharing your community with us today. I want to thank everybody from Tired Dads. If you're watching, remember that this is always about something that we're not just building for ourselves, we're building for the community. And one of the biggest community builders and lovers out there is Ghost. Ghost, you have anything final you want to check out?
No, I just want to say I love you, man. I appreciate you sincerely always going through and fine-tuning and being transparent and communicating, just being a reliable source, friendship that we've built. I trust you wholeheartedly. I'm super happy we met. Shout out to Shane for making that happen. His resilience and persistence and every other thing that he did to really just kind of get me to come and meet you firsthand has been just a blessing in itself. So I'm just appreciative, man. A lot of gratitude I feel in my heart. Shout out to Jay and Tired Dad Coin, man. I got 3 daughters and I'm tired as shit, so it always makes sense.
All the time,
man. I kid you not. It's real.
I don't even think I need a badge anymore. I think I need just a whole clothing line of Tired Dad.
You feel me, dude? Like, golly, man. But also, man, I do want to say just a shout out to the Lotto fam for always showing up, man, and supporting us no matter where our market cap's at. And I also want to say, from the bottom of my heart, the gratitude I have for someone in particular as well as Ash. Actually, she's I call her my sister, man. She's just a pure-hearted soul. I've just never, you don't come across people like her as often as you wish you could, but she's did a walkthrough last night with me on the merch store, and my jaw just was dropping on how much she's putting together behind the scenes, and it's just cool to see everything kind of getting close to it. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for the patience that they have in letting us work behind the scenes and ensuring that we do it the right way, man. And I just want to say I'm appreciative, man. Just a lot of gratitude I feel right now. That's all, man. And of course, for you, thanks for inviting me on the show today. It's always fun coming up here, man. I wish we went back to our Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday shindig.
Right. Well, that's what we're trying. Today's Tuesday. We were here all last week too. Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So we that's 4. This is 4 shows in a row now. We're coming back, baby.
The kid's back.
The kid's back, baby. Hey, listen. Exactly. Even if I just come in and I do a State of Shogun, I'm completely happy. Well, I do appreciate you both. I love you both immensely. You guys have just worked so hard in your own worlds, and you've carved out your time in the day to be here with me, and I can't thank you enough for that. But for some personal shout out, I may not say this enough to my community. Inside the community over at Telegram, we got some real diehards. We got Rip, we got Taz, we got Clark Kent. We have a lot of people in there, Crypto Meaner 77 in there, every day, making sure that the stuff is staying safe, staying strong. You got a lot of LFGs, a lot of good stuff in there for us every day. We really do appreciate you. As some quick updates, we are coming out with our show format again. If you want to get over to the website, hit up the Shogun Gun Show. If you want to sponsor a show, it's very inexpensive. We'll have some introductory costs of coming back. We're starting to push our trail out there again and get some notice in there. We've done pretty good today, thanks to Jay and thanks to Ghost, of course. But we're here to help you get that information out, do interviews, talk about your coin, do AMAs. There's a lot of stuff that comes with that sponsorship, and it's definitely worth it. If you're a coin or you're a network and you have not bought into the Anvil bot, hit over to our website at shoguncrypto.com and check out the Anvil 2.5. It is a very powerful thing with a DCA module, with a revolving system in there, with memory wallets on there now. Very, very strong, real market cap. Not some fake kind of shit where you're bundling stuff in and it makes it look like it, but real market cap to keep your coin relevant and always moving forward. And an affiliate program. If you want to sell it to your people, you can easily do so with a one-click wonder. Send them over there and you get paid instant. There's no waiting. It'll pay you micro pennies if you want to. So it'll constantly keep working on your behalf as your community uses it. Well, again, thanks to both of you for being here today. Thanks to everybody who's been watching. I'm Trader Max. This has been a Shogun Gun Show here on June 24th, 2025. We'll see you next time. And as always, trade well. You two stick with me for a minute.